Welcome. I'm Felisha Dowdy. I'm with Paducah Bank Louisville, and we are here with Dan Furman, president of 502 Circle.
Love it. Thank you guys for having me. It's we're excited about it. I've been an advisory board member of Paducah Bank for the last few years, and excited to hear more about what you guys are working on here.
Tell us about 502 Circle.
So 502 Circle is the official NIL Collective of Louisville Athletics, and it has been nothing short of crazy getting this thing off the ground. But 502 Circle started, it was actually last football season, so last August. The company has grown like crazy. As the NIL Collective of Louisville Athletics, we manage a little over 150 student athletes that are on campus at Louisville that earn NIL money throughout the course of the year, and that could be with some of the local partners that we do have in the community, both on the for-profit side and the nonprofit side, working with different marketing and advertisement groups, or switching over doing some community service work as well. So we are kind of the in-between between all different parties in this situation, where you have the athletic department, who they're not allowed to be involved in the day-to-day on the NIL side from an NCAA standpoint. So we manage all of that for them and all of the student athletes. We also work directly with the kids, so we're managing all of the student athletes at the same time as representing businesses and nonprofits in the community. So we're kind of that broker, that middleman for all of those parties, to try and make NIL a reality in Louisville. And we've been really fortunate. We've had a lot of success, and I can't wait to see the impact that it makes on the field, on the court, and ultimately in the community.
So tell me from your personal perspective.
Yeah.
You were a college athlete.
Sure.
So tell me how this is going to help in that arena.
Yeah, so it's been a huge help. Honestly, the being able to relate to the student athlete that's always been my focus. I never want to lose track of being able to relate to 18 to 22-year-olds that are going through an incredible time in their life, that they're moving a lot of times moving away from home, sometimes across the world or across the country, to be in a competitive environment with a bunch of other individuals who were excelling at their high school and at the level that they were at. So it's an exciting time for them, but there's challenges that come with it. And now NIL honestly has been another challenge for them, right? It's managing, well, how do I create this content? Where do I go for this? What brands can I work with? Well, we're the source for all of that. We serve as that source. So being able to simplify their lives is our focus, and being able to simplify the process for local businesses in town. It's kind of the best of both worlds. So it's been a huge leg up, and I just keep thinking back to my college days. Like most days, I was a pretty bad baseball player, but at the same time, like I was provided this unbelievable experience at Pitt, and I've been able to translate some of those lessons that I've taken from there and been able to teach those to the kids that we have on campus now, and it's been really cool to see. And their families have responded well to it too, and from an NIL standpoint, we've put them in a really nice situation where they feel confident in what we're doing, the school feels confident in what we're doing, and hopefully our coaches and their staffs feel confident in what we're doing. So we've got a lot of work to keep doing, but we feel like we're in an incredible spot with our student athletes at Louisville.
Not only do you have a leg up as a college athlete, you also have a leg up. Tell us about your position that you had in athletics department
Sure.
at UofL.
So I've been at Louisville for a long time now, I would consider. I was on the department staff raising money for the Cardinal Athletic Fund for a little over 5 years. Had a lot of success in that role, generated a lot of revenue for them from an internal standpoint. We were selling naming rights partnerships, premium seats, suites, all that kind of stuff, right? So I had already had that background of, hey, you know the community, right? You know the businesses, you know the donors, you know the individuals here. Now help maximize those relationships directly for our student athletes. So I think we've been able to do that, and I think that from a collective standpoint, these collectives, these NIL collectives, similar to 502 Circle, are popping up across the country. And the one thing that they're all talking about, they're all trying to find ways to raise more money. Well, for us, that's where I came from. That's my background on the university side, and being able to transition those relationships easily into NIL opportunities for our athletes has been huge. But ultimately, it's been a lot of fun to collaborate with the department as well. I was normally inside collaborating with somebody external, where now it's roles reversed. So I get to work with a lot of the folks that I worked with on the athletic side, and honestly, they challenge me, I challenge them. And for us to keep this growing and keep having success, there's a lot riding on it for me, right? Because I look back at all those people. Those are people that I care about, and it's people I've worked with for years that we plan on continuing to win and have success. And I don't know if there's a much better feeling than seeing the smile on people's faces after we beat Notre Dame a couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
So games like that are the reason that we do this. And providing those opportunities for our kids to go out and have success on the field, it's incredible. So we got to keep it rolling.
So if you gave any advice to a student athlete, a senior graduating from high school,
Sure.
that is going to be going, doesn't matter, Division I, Division II, wherever, what would you tell them?
That's a great question. I think my number one piece of advice will always be to bet on yourself. No matter what level you're at, no matter where you feel like you are, if you're maybe a fringe Division I guy, go play. Go play Division I baseball. Go play Division II football. Go do it and stick with it. Ride it out. I'll never forget, I was a freshman at Pitt, and I didn't play. I went in, I was unprepared, I was a little fat freshman, running around trying to figure out how to play baseball, right? And I wasn't ready. I wasn't prepared to take that on, but I went home and I was like, Dad, I'm transferring. One of the best things he's ever said to me to this day, he was like, all right, cool. Well, it better be the same level of school and it's got to be in the ACC. And I was thinking to myself, all right, well, I can't get into Notre Dame. I can't get into Boston College. I can't get into any of the Duke. I can't get in. And he was like, well, that's great. He's like, it sounds like you're staying at Pitt. And I was like, perfect. And in the world that we live in today with NIL and the transfer portal, a lot of times it's easy for kids to jump and make that transition into their next school when it's not always the right situation. And I always challenge kids to think think long term here. In the next 2-3 years, are you going to be sitting in a program that's in the top 10 and you have an opportunity to play for a college football playoff or for a Final Four? And, and that goes in all of our sports at Louisville, right? Across the board, we're competitive in everything. So I do challenge kids, man, think big picture, take a chance on yourself and ride it out. And I do feel like regardless of the experience that you have from a playing standpoint, if you finish school as a 4-year student athlete, I can promise you it'll help you long term in the job process, in the community, and from a business standpoint. So I think that's what I got for high school kids for sure.
Well, we certainly appreciate you giving us a few minutes, and we look forward to seeing the success of the NIL and UofL Cards. Go Cards!
Absolutely, go Cards. We appreciate Paducah Bank.
Thank you.
Absolutely.